welcome back to the Sasquatch and Squirrel Show. Today, we did have a completely different episode planned, but we decided to, after doing a little bit of digging, there was something that we feel that needs to be brought to the attention of a little bit broader audience. Is this disaster that happened in North Carolina? I know people are talking about Asheville, but it's more than just Asheville. There's Asheville and the surrounding areas have been affected by this hurricane that happened a week and a half, 2 weeks ago now. And it is a clinic in government clusterfuck shit, if I'm being honest. Nobody is allowed to go in and help. People are using their own resources, whether it be their money to buy supplies for these people or using their own helicopter to get these people out, and they are being told to stand down. That in and of itself is truly ridiculous.
Yeah, I will agree with that. Watching all this video footage of these towns just being completely decimated, it's very telling to see that somebody who is expecting us to vote for her, and she's in power right now, and she can do stuff to better this situation. However, upon doing a little bit of digging, FEMA, and you don't have to dig too hard for this information, FEMA squandered away tons of the money that they were going to be using for any of these hurricane disasters or any kind of natural disaster period, regardless of what it was, and gave it to illegal immigrants.
They're trying to say that FEMA is going to run out of money, and everybody knows that that's not the case because they have
Right.
there's special powers that are in that Congress and Senate can bestow upon FEMA to keep going, to keep operating, because there's always an ongoing disaster in this country somewhere.
Yeah. Now, things I want to discuss today are, like, let's talk about what we know. Then we could talk about speculation of things,
Right.
of what's going on. And then we can talk about parallels. So, what do we know right now? Right now, we know that there's several towns that are just wiped off the map because of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A river that was normally 1 to 2 foot deep in places has been overwhelmed. The infrastructure has been overwhelmed. Even the interstate itself, Interstate 40, is shut down because half of it's missing.
Right.
Bridges all in the town are missing. And, there's people that are still missing.
Yeah. Well, I was watching one of the videos today. It was like a YouTube short or something. I think maybe you sent it to me. That they're not even trying rescue efforts anymore. They're just looking for recovery. And for those of you who don't know what that means, they're not trying. They're looking for dead people.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, what they're saying is if you have people that live in that area and you have not been in touch with them, prepare for the worst.
Right. And, I just want to start, this whole thing off by saying our hearts go out to these people that's been totally devastated, and shame on the government for not helping sooner. Literally, there's, several days that's gone by without these people even showing up. Now they're there,
Mm-hmm.
and they're shooing away people. Now, why would they be shooing away people? I mean, it would make sense if there was tons of military aircraft in the airspace, and that's why private would not be a good idea.
Correct. But
Now,
there's also, I don't mean to cut you off, but there's also I'm going to play slight devil's advocate on that one. I could kind of see a little bit why they don't want civilians getting involved. Because, one, communication, they're probably not able to communicate with them the same way they would with each other. Now, I'm not saying that they shouldn't be allowed to help. I'm just saying that it could muddy the waters. Does that make sense?
it does make sense.
Okay. But also, I think that some civilian goes out there with his helicopter, he crashes, now they have to worry about getting them out too. So I kind of can see where they come from, but from what I gather, there has been National Guard and military personnel there for the entire time, but they've been waiting on orders for some ridiculous reason.
Right, right,
Now, that's the part that doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, okay, we know what's going on. We understand it. The scene is now safe for the most part, as safe as it can be to start a real rescue effort or a recovery effort.
right. Now, when it comes to the issue of the military and getting the orders, and you know, there's a lot of people that's in the military that's been blowing the whistle, stating, "We're sitting here on our hands, and we can't do anything because we're waiting for them to give us the green light to go." And of course, anybody in the military knows you cannot defy the orders. You have to do what you're told.
Yeah, it's treason, I think.
Unfortunately, in this situation, I'm going to say yes.
Yeah,
And I think whoever's like, the leading officer of this right here, whatever it may be, needs to have their job taken away from them. Now, it could be as far up as the governor or the president, because the governor's a Democrat.
right. Well, I mean, I don't know if this is necessarily a party's issue so much as it is. I think it's just a complete and utter ignorance issue. I feel that this whole thing blurs political lines when people are without homes, without food, without water, without electricity, and and that stuff doesn't matter as far as what left, right, in the middle, whatever. The people are fucking hurting now.
Yeah.
Now it's time to get your head out of your collective asses and fucking do something.
Right. Now, when you're on the ground, party lines don't matter. But with these fucking clowns that we're dealing with, you know, I I watched the fucking president, that, dimension-ridden fuck, and they, there was a reporter asked him about the state of the storm recovery efforts and stuff like that.
Well,
And
Katrina was probably worse. I can, God damn it, I can hear that shit now.
yeah,
Oh, I shit my pants.
probably knowing this dumb.
Right.
But it's like, they had to repeat it to him, and it took him a second to understand what he was saying. It was like, oh, wait, what storm? It was like, oh, the storm. Oh yeah. It's like, dude, you just came from that site.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you not know where the fuck? Oh, look, I understand there's a problem there with his mind.
I understand that too, but just because the left side of his brain was there and his right wasn't, you know what I mean? It's like if he can't form a coherent sentence,
Why is he in power?
the fuck is he still in power? Anyways, another topic, another program. But as you were saying, it's just he was just there, and he doesn't. It's embarrassing, and it's I don't. And then you heard about the money, right? That they're offering these people.
Oh
If you
yeah,
can,
the $750.
Yeah, if you can get online, you can register for $750.
And who
That'll
knows
pay
what
for
qualifies?
fucking nothing.
Right.
Oh, it was probably a zombie apocalypse is what
Yeah,
it
probably.
qualifies for. Yeah, that and fucking, a meteor attack or shower or whatever, something that has nothing to do with it, and then nobody will get any money. But some
Right.
Ukrainian fucker can have our money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Zelensky's over here rubbing his fucking mitts
I
together, counting
hope-
our fucking cash.
Hope that fucker steps on a Lego that's on fire.
So let's talk about another issue that's going on there. And this right here is the part that's the most heartbreaking. And honestly, I'm just going to let it be known. Anybody that loots people's stuff or goes into people's homes or robs people at gunpoint just to get water, food, stuff like that instead of working together.
Need to be ass raped by 10-dicked bison.
Immediately.
Immediately.
No lube, no spit.
No lube. No, you get fucking polygrip on that one. And that's the thing though, is when I don't know how long you've been in Florida, but I know it's been a few years, but I've been in Florida since 86. I was born here, moved away for a while, came back, like I said, long story short. Anyways, when we got here, here about 7 years, whatever it was, Andrew hit Miami and fucked it up.
Yeah.
And there was this looting shit. And it's like, you and I alluded to, we were having a conversation this morning to discuss the show and just to catch up. I told you that, we were talking about the looting in the Carolinas, and I said, people will come together when everything is copacetic and everybody has enough food, everybody's warm, everybody's got a roof. But when the shit hits the fan and supplies dwindle and not everybody has what they need, that's when people will turn to violence to get what they think they need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then, just to add further fuel to the fire, then you got all these people like, I mean, it's no different than what happened when, the COVID bullshit happened. Everybody was like hoarding toilet paper and groceries and gas and shit like that.
mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that happens in Florida or anywhere that, there's going to be some kind of looming disaster, whether it be a snowstorm or a hurricane. Like they'll loot everything that, I mean, they're not really looting, but they'll go and hoard everything. But the looting part is,
The
that
worst.
right there is just,
Yeah.
it kills it for me. It just shows like, it just proves thugs will be thugs.
Exactly. Did you hear about the guy up there? I don't know. I can't say it was in the Carolinas, but there was some douchebag, and I'm refraining from saying what I really want to say.
Don't hold back.
Oh, well, I need to. But some gas station owner was charging $10 a gallon for gas. And it's like, dude, those
What
kinds
needs
of
to
people,
happen
he needs to be
is,
brought up on charges in the discussion
yeah,
of some sort. And it's also like that idiot during COVID. He went to his all of his local stores in the area, and he bought all the hand sanitizer. The government stepped in, took it all from him, and then hit him up with charges, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
I'm like, good, because that needed to happen. So the point is that these kinds of tragedies or natural disasters, they bring out the absolute worst in most people. And as I alluded to earlier on, you and I both are in Florida, and now we have Hurricane Milton headed our direction on Wednesday.
mm-hmm.
So it's like enough's enough. So it gets to the point to where how are these, what's going on in our environment that's making these hurricanes happen so frequently? Now, us as Florida, we haven't been, and I'm not tempting fate here. Okay.
Knock on wood.
We've been hit, but we haven't been hit like an Andrew or the big four that we had in '04.
Yeah,
I forget all those other ones. But I mean, and it's not, people joke about Florida and all that and hurricanes and how we set out in our port. No, we really don't. At least I don't, because I'm not an idiot. But you have to take those things as serious as they can be, as you can. But also, the news is not afraid to hype it up.
right. And, and me, I've been in Florida since 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And when, when you're in another state, you watch the news and you see the big scary cloud, swirling vortex of hell, just like you would think be tearing things up.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly more so on the coastal areas that are getting pounded. And then the inland areas, which I didn't know, usually just get the annoying wind or sprinkle here and there. And like, I remember my first hurricane that I dealt with here, I forget the name of it because it was just more of an annoyance. We just had a lot of higher winds, and it really just, it didn't do anything. We didn't lose power. We didn't lose internet. It's just, it sprinkled and the clouds are moving fast. I'm like, is this a hurricane here in Florida? I thought this shit was going to be like causing all types of hell, and I was like panicking, right? The only one that mattered to me that showed me it was a serious storm was Irma.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, what these other ones are going to do. I mean, this last one, you just had Helene come through here, and I'll admit, that wind was getting pretty well up there, and I was a little nervous about that one right there. And I was like, yeah, it's the first time I've really, had my hair stand up on my arm on that right there. I was just like, I don't
Hmm.
know about this one now.
Well, I remember that when Helene came through here on my side of town, I was asleep. My power flickered for a little bit, and then I went back to bed. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean that's just the way Florida is. You know, we always have. We're the lightning capital of the world. You know, we're a tropical area, so all this kind of stuff's going to happen. But back to the thing is, I was looking at this another video from it, and it's just the level of destruction that we're seeing in the Carolinas it's unprecedented. You know, like complete. You know, there's just miles and miles of roadway washed away, people's homes just washed away, people washed away. It's
people buried up under several tons of mud and debris and shit.
and
And
it's
there's people walking around like trying to look for people and make sure these people are okay in their homes, and then they go there to look for their home and they can't recognize it because there's no home left. Maybe a chimney standing or something like that. And you have to wonder, when they're walking around, they smell death everywhere. And
could
it's
be,
like,
yeah.
is that somebody? And in most cases, yeah. But I mean, it could also be livestock or something like that.
Right.
But there, it's jaw dropping to understand that our system is failing the people that are having to pay taxes into that shit, and it
Hmm.
needs to be there for them. And just because you got this group in there that have no fucking clue what they're doing,
Yeah. I mean,
and it's
it's a
very
definite.
apparent.
It's a definite case of the left hand doesn't know what the right one's doing. Now, I don't mean to disparage people that are going through this,
No,
but I want to say, like, another video that you sent me was this guy was saying, if you're going to send food and canned food, make sure they're pop tops
right?
because these people don't have can openers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not a prepper by any stretch, okay,
No,
but to not have a manual can opener in your home, that just boggles my mind. I don't know how we can become so dependent on technology that we don't have a simple hand crank can opener.
and I'll be honest with you, I was one that was spoiled with the electronic ones, but it's amazing how often those things fail and they won't work. But even
Hmm.
the hand can openers now, trying to find a good one.
Right.
So I have about two or three of them.
Yeah, I have one good one. It's a KitchenAid or whatever. No, whatever. No product placement, but it's just you just but having a little bit of stuff in your deep freezer. If you, I mean, but then again, I'm looking at it from a lens of I've had a good job for 20 plus years.
Right.
I have to look outside of myself and try to look at it from a different point of view because I've had this line of work that I've been in for almost 25 years.
Yeah. And with the current state of affairs with inflation and people trying to decide if, they can get everything they need at the grocery store or fuel or, whatever, or pay a bill to
Mm-hmm.
keep the lights on to be able to cook. I
Well,
mean, everybody's hurting right now. It's a terrible
yeah.
time,
Mm-hmm.
and there's no help.
Well, exactly. Well, I went to the store to pick up a few things yesterday or a couple times this week because everybody knows I just moved, so I'm still buying supplies.
Right.
And so I think I went and I got lunch meat, some bread, and a couple of staples that I keep in my home. $124.
Yeah.
I'm like, now granted, I bought,
Imagine if you worked a job that was like maybe $10 an hour, if that, and then trying to pay for rent and all that bullshit.
if we're being honest, are there any jobs out there that are $10 an hour right now? Or are they all,
I'm sure there is.
yeah, I
Probably
mean,
somebody that works their ass off that could use a pay raise and is there all the time. Then you got some
mhm.
fucking punk ass kid going to McDonald's making $15 an hour, or probably more than a teacher.
All right. So I just Googled it. It says on September 30th, 2023, the minimum hourly wage in Florida will be $12. So there you go.
Okay.
And even that though, $12. I mean, if that's for, but you know, like I said, that's a whole nother. We can talk about the minimum wage thing in a different episode. But you know, back on track, it's all, and this is okay. You know how we are on this show, folks. So let's put tinfoil hat on,
All right.
and
We'll
now
fit that up real quick.
this one's going to be a doozy.
Yeah.
It's almost like someone's making these hurricanes.
Interesting enough you say that because supposedly we do have the technology to modify storms. And also we have the ability to cause earthquakes. And it's not something that is unverifiable. Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is one of the House Representatives for Georgia, I'm pretty sure she's made a hell of a name for herself. She's actually posting things on Twitter about it, or X. And it's like, this is the truth. Now, when I first saw this, I saw this a while back. Of course, everybody knows HARP and shit like that. Let's put HARP aside for a moment. But when the first time I saw this, I was watching a little short thing that Alex Jones has, and take him or leave him. You know, that's up to y'all.
Right.
However, and he was going on about this stuff, and he had people talking about it, like generals and shit. Now, it's one thing to have Alex Jones talk about it and easily dismiss it. It's harder to dismiss when you have a sitting House Representatives person that is not about any kind of bullshit and saying, look, it's not a lie. They do have this technology.
Right.
And also, he's a well-known, I'm going to call him commercial physicist. However, he is a real physicist, Michio Kaku.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I've heard him talk a couple times. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, very smart fella. He is not a bullshitter. And, you know, he's been asked several times all about aliens and stuff like that. He's like, well, you know, there's really no proof about it. But then, you know, of course, then we got all these flying things. He's talking about, oh, there's all types of proof now. Or at least he wants to see more data on it. Let's just like clear it up for that. However, on this topic, he was actually talking about the, you know, the weather modification thing. And this was over 9 years ago.
Right. I mean, well, and I think we've alluded to it before on a different episode of you know the weather manipulation machines. Like, I know that we had discussed about a cloud making machine.
Yeah,
Can
and that's a
kinda,
real thing.
yeah, because I've seen that with my own two eyes. You know, I mean, well, obviously online, but I've seen it. You know,
Right.
and so I don't, man. It's just, but I don't understand what. I don't understand what the end game in here is. If it's just to, if it's just to destroy the country, there's easier ways of doing it, and you don't have to worry about, you know, I don't know.
Well, if you
This
do
has
this
got
right
me
here, it makes it look like an accident, and it takes
right.
the
Blame away.
yeah, exactly,
Plausible
because it's an
deniability.
act of God, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And like when you have a group of criminals, and I want to call it like I see it, and I'm going to say this is on both sides of the aisle. There's a group of criminals up there that's in charge of this place, and I wouldn't put anything fucking past them to keep things from getting better. And I don't know what the game plan is on their end, but you know, one of these days we're going to talk about the World Economic Forum because a lot of this shit that's going on right now ties very close to them and their build back bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, well, yeah, it's something that needs to be discussed, but you know, we'll get to that at another time. But man, I gotta tell you, this it almost feels like we're just plummeting as a country. You
Yeah.
know, you know, there's got to be something. There's got to be a relief. And I'm not saying it's Trump. I'm not saying it's Trump, because you and I had that discussion this morning. Is like, listen, they're only going to let him do what they want him to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much, you know, that he can get done in 4 years, and it's
Right.
like, I don't necessarily think that, you know, I believe there is a shadow government of some sort, but I don't. I don't know, man.
Yeah, there's so much. Right. So back on the topic of this whole Helene disaster, it's weird, and there's some talk, and this is the speculation part. There's some talk that this is just like the Hawaii volcano incident, where it's a land grab, because up in the mountains over there, it's rich with quartz silica, which is in a lot of our electronics.
Right.
There's speculation that there's lithium up in the mountains up there, and it's not too far fetched of that right there. No, I know a lot of people are saying this about the lithium thing, and it could very well fucking be this situation, because there's been some statements that and also, just to kind of back this up, just a little bit more foreshadowing on this topic. There are lithium mines in, a 1.5 to 2 hour drive of this area. So it's not a far-fetched thing, geographically speaking.
Right.
And I sent you some information on that just to show you that. It's like a chemistry website. It's talking about different ways that, that kind of stuff could be in the soil, or how it could be present.
Right, of course.
But it's like, could this be a land grab? So
it could be. Yeah, I'm not going to rule anything out.
Right.
And then, listen, the government trying to take something that doesn't belong to them has been the basis of this country. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that a few years ago, where they had that standoff with that, they were coming they were trying to put a pipeline through his land, and they declared eminent domain, and he actually, and now, yet again, I don't necessarily agree with it, but he actually called the militia, the Oath Keepers, and they came and they had a standoff, and they all, there's limited, resources on that, limited information on that, but it was definitely.
Did that guy get killed?
I believe so, because they took over a government building that was closed. They did it when it was closed so no one would be hurt. And the FBI, or one of the other alphabet organizations, they were filming inside this guy's car. He got out, he's unarmed, and they shot him in the face.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
Yeah, that's, it's about as, great as what they did down in Texas and Waco.
Yeah, well, that was
an ultimate failure, but it's a different topic. But
it's true, but it's also, there's a lot of other things that, Ruby Ridge happened right before Waco, and then it's just all these disasters. But I think Waco was an overcompensation for Ruby Ridge, but that's yet again another episode. So, right. But they're all kind of interlinked and intertwined. So there you go.
Right. Now, I don't want to be all gloom and doom. I want to give a shout out to all the first responders and the people that are just average, everyday civilians checking in on their neighbors, trying to clean up that, mess that they've been given. But these people, they're going to need some serious help. That whole town just literally got washed away.
Yeah.
Other towns are just as bad that's not being reported on as heavily as Asheville. Those people need attention too. So instead of sending everything to Asheville, see if there's some supplies that could be sent to the other places, and just check on your fellow people there. But I will say that that right there shows true American spirit right there, and it makes you proud to see people doing things out of the kindness of their heart. Now, minus the dick bag that you were discussing earlier, that was the probably a foreigner trying to capitalize on Americans by selling $10 gas. That motherfucker should have been run out of the goddamn country, and the boat sank.
Yeah, come on, dude. That's just pure and utter ridiculousness, and it's predatorial, and it's vulture like behavior.
Yeah,
Like,
people like
that's
that
like
should never have business or a business ever again. And honestly, the people should revolt against that motherfucker.
100%. People have no problems canceling someone who has a difference of opinion. Well, why don't we cancel someone like that who actually has done something dastardly and wrong?
Right.
You
These
know,
people that are just succubus on, you know, on the society.
steroids.
They
Yeah.
just want to capitalize it all it is, and they don't see any problem with it. But honestly, there's no difference between that right there and being a thief, because
No, there's
honestly,
not.
that dishonesty right
Hmm.
there is one of the biggest, you know, just it's a canker on the ass of society.
Right. Well, that's the thing is these people like, I'm a person I've been in the medical field since I was 19 years old, and I'm 45.
Grandpa.
So most of my life, hey, you're 44, dickbag. I don't want to hear it. So, but there you go. Happy birthday
Yeah,
yesterday,
I'll break my
dork.
fucking hip.
I know, yeah. And then you got and the next thing you know, the tennis ball's going to come off the bottom of your walker, and you're going to go around in circles.
I know, right?
So, anyways, you started that. You got what you get.
Yeah, guilty as charged.
Yeah, if you don't want the smoke, don't start the fire. Anyways, but no, it's just all that kind of stuff is it. When I see, I like to help people within reason. But when you see someone trying to take advantage of someone who's down on their luck, that shit just chaps my ass.
Right.
So
And should be met with a fist in the mouth, because honestly, I
yeah,
think the reason why people are the way they are right now is
hmm
because they haven't tasted a knuckle sandwich.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like there was a person I used to work with, and he was. This is when I was bouncing in bars to make extra cash and I was a younger. I was like in my early 20s. So, anyways, there was a guy there. He was flapping his gums about something, talking about how much of a badass he was. He was a patron, I think, or was it a coworker? I can't remember. It's been 20 years. I can't remember. He's going off, and he's like, and I said, dude, you strike me as someone who's never been hit hard.
Probably right.
And he goes, what does that mean? Yeah, and he's like, what does that mean? I said, has anybody ever hit you in the face as hard as they can? He goes, no, and I'm like, then you never been tested. Shut up. So, but that's my point. Is me and my girlfriend were driving out of Target because yet again, I have to spend $1.5 billion to get all the crap that I need
Yeah.
for a new home. So there's a guy we're standing on the corner of, the intersection there with a sign saying help needed or whatever. And this dude is about $3 bills. And what I mean by that, he's about 300 pounds. He's wearing a Salt Life. She's wearing what is that brand? Salt Life, where like the Fisher people or whatever.
Beachgoers.
And he's got a cell phone hanging off his hip. And I'm like,
This guy is not hurting for goddamn anything except for
exactly.
too lazy to go to work.
Oh, well, and that
he
was a
wants a fucking
conversation.
hamburger.
Yeah, and that was the conversation that me and my girlfriend had. She says he has two good hands, two good feet. Why is he not applying? If he truly needs the money, why is he not applying at some place?
Right.
But the problem is that no, I understand that nobody wants to work for minimum wage, but sometimes you have to. You got to start somewhere, and that's what those jobs are for. Those are for high school kids like your Burger Kings and your Taco Bells and shit.
Yeah. I
They're
swear if
for
I needed the job, I'd be taking it if that's the only place I can get hired at. But
dude. If it doesn't matter, like, as I come from a background of being incredibly impoverished. And that's why I've, I went to school. I did this, I did that. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes when you're just breathtakingly fucked at the beginning of life and you have no choice.
right.
But I'm not saying pull yourself up by your bootstraps, because sometimes people need help.
No, sometimes people do need some help.
Right. But most of the time it's just someone who doesn't want it.
Right.
But
They just want to reap the benefits of, somebody's help or take advantage of their kindness. But, it's that whole give a person a fish.
feed him for a day, teach him to fish, feed him for the rest of his life. I personally have a different one.
That's weird.
I say build a man a fire, keep him warm for a day. set him on fire, keep him warm for the rest of his life.
I'll grab the marshmallows.
That's right. We're
He's like,
making s'mores.
ooh, this one's going a little wider. He must have been 20 proof.
That's right. He was drinking something. Sorry, I'm going to hell for that one.
Maybe. Yeah. I'll be joining you later.
Yeah. And we're not saying that you should open up your wallet and help anybody, but, just if you pray for these people, there's more to what's going on. So just keep your ears peeled and your eyes, fine tuned for what may be coming. Because, remember what happened a few years ago in October, COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and this, you and I had the conversation this morning that this very well could be, because I'm just saying, North Carolina is a red state.
Yep.
And, they don't want people voting for a certain candidate.
Yep.
Anyways, so that's my humble opinion on things.
Yep. I mean, the thing is, it's like, if it was a blue state, would they get the help they need, or would it still be in the same shape? But these are the salt of the earth people that are suffering right now that generally vote in the name of common sense, and they're going to vote with their wallets instead of their fucking ego. Most of these people. Now, I'm not going to say there aren't people out there that want to vote for the other side. I mean, that's why we have the electoral college, because you're free to vote, and popular vote gets the electoral vote.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, there's a lot of shit that isn't adding up in this whole debacle, and I want to know why.
Right.
Or do I really want to know why?
Here's the thing. You probably don't, because now listen, as much as I don't agree with this politics or any kind of crap, if you go back to 2008 when Obama got in, right? And then you go to 2012 or even to 2016, that dude aged incredibly in those 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because once that veil is back, ain't no putting it back. It's like trying to unimpregnate a pregnant chick. It ain't fucking happening.
Right. Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of weirdness there. I mean, look, I understand that job is extremely stressful.
It's a shit job. It's
I would not want it.
No, and for the fucking, to be in air quotes, the leader of the free world, I think you definitely not getting paid enough. And Trump, as much as, like I said, love him or hate him or whatever,
didn't take a dime of that money.
He didn't take a dime of it. All went to, because he doesn't need it, No,
he doesn't.
So good for him, but I'm not, but
I'll say this right here. Mm-hmm. We mentioned earlier that FEMA has no money to deal with a real problem because they manufactured another problem with the illegal immigration going on in our country, and FEMA gave housing and pretty much a full fucking ride scholarship to these assholes coming into our country to vote for the other side, and just like you said, possibly uprise when they don't get their vote in or whatever the hell. Mm-hmm. Want to bring this topic up because I'm a little vindictive right now, so I want to go ahead and air a little bit of dirty laundry.
I mean, I don't know if you're vindictive or not. Your voice just completely changed. Your demeanor went a little bit meaner.
Yeah. So,
anyways,
been dealing with a certain company that's backed by, healthcare.gov. Mm-hmm. Got a letter for somebody else using my fucking address, my home address. I'm going to send my mortgage to this motherfucker, but definitely an illegal immigrant. Mm-hmm. You could tell by the name. Using my address, and I opened the bill to try to find a number to call and say, hey, I want this person's name off my address, period. And if you catch them using that address again, press charges, please. Right. Or I want to press charges because it's fraud. So I start looking at the bill, And this dude has a health bill here, $697.11. How much did he pay? Not shit.
Right.
It was a full fucking tax credit. So, ladies and gentlemen, your tax dollars are going to pay for the fucking health of these people. Meanwhile, we can't get health care covered by a tax credit.
Mm-hmm.
We have to pay that shit out of our bullshit insurance. It's a high deductible.
Right.
And we're still fucking broke because of that. We don't want to go to the doctor and get what we need done to us because of the fact that we're too afraid of paying that fucking bill or having money to eat.
Right. Well, and that's the,
So if you
yeah,
quit putting fucking money in this bullshit right here, maybe you could afford a fucking hurricane fund.
right. Or also, it's just, I feel that, and when you do go to the doctor, it's just, they're going to just throw pills at you.
Yeah,
You know what I
shove
mean?
a finger
So,
up your ass and throw a pill down your throat.
well, I mean, I don't know about, but isn't that a good time for you? I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Anyways,
Mind your business.
mind your goddamn business. But no,
I mean, I
I'm
pay
just,
the fucking doctor, all right?
well, I mean, goddamn. I mean, probably better ways to do it, but anyway, you can do it at home, damn it. But no,
Not as fun that way.
well, I don't have, not that I'm aware of, I have no one, posing to live in my home, but, I had to have
Yet.
yeah, exactly. I had to have a CT of my spine, which is an imaging thing. And my insurance wanted me to pay $680. So I asked my friend who worked at a standalone imaging center, what do you guys charge for this? And they say $280. And I'm like, why is it so different? She's like, because we charge the insurance 3 times. I'm like, well, how about you fucking stop that shit?
I wonder why they do that.
Because it's greed. Because the insurance company, and listen, I am not a pro insurance company guy, okay? But what I'm saying is they're like, well, they have it, so we might as well charge for it. It's like,
And that right there is exactly the reason why our fucking
it sucks. Yeah.
insurance sucks. It's all fucking fraud and scam anyways.
Well, not all of it, but the point is that some of it is very much a thing of, they charge for things that don't need to be, repeatedly charged for, like stretchers and gurneys and that kind of thing.
Right.
So everything's a charge. I got to tread lightly because I do have to pay for this new house that I got.
I was doing a little bit of research on this whole migrant issue too. So this is part of the problem that we're dealing with. There's a video out there that shows these people getting a free 2-year rent-free apartment, fully furnished, with all the bells and whistles and all the creature comforts.
I can tell you what that is. That's them wanting to get people to come here and vote for the left. It's 100% what that is. I remember they had people from Venezuela come up here, and they all started voting for the Republicans, and they're like, "You guys can go back,"
Yeah,
because they sent them back. So but there's a level of corruption throughout the entirety of the government, and we all know it. But it's just no one will ever be punished or brought to light about it. So there you go.
true. The only other time that I remember the government being so fucking stupid on a natural disaster was Hurricane Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know there was a little bit of stuff going on there, and, there's some sarcasms that could be said, but still, the handling of that situation right there was a complete and total shit show. And, I mean, this Helene thing right here, it seems to be a complete fucking echo.
Mm-hmm. Here's one, to the thing that you were just saying, I just saw it on X. When did freeloaders become more important than taxpayers?
Good question.
So there you go. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no, Harris sure as shit ain't gonna fix it.
Fuck no. I mean, she's already been in there. She's the one running the show anyways.
Well, according to some, she's the one that voted that she did the tiebreaker vote to get all this inflation. So
Yeah, she ain't gonna fix shit.
no, and who's to say Trump will? But I mean, at least he's gonna fucking maybe possibly try. I know we got off topic a little bit, or jumped from subject to subject. That's fine. We do that a lot, but who cares? But the main takeaway from this whole thing is that people are suffering. They don't have food. They don't have water. They don't have a roof over their head. and no one up until now has decided to help them other than
Right.
private citizens. This is the big,
Governmental middle finger.
yeah, the big middle finger to the American people. Like, you don't matter. Go vote for us. We don't give a shit what happens to you.
I hope these people can't get elected dog catcher in the near future.
True.
Okay, there's one other thing I want to discuss.
Okay.
You sent me a video of a guy that was talking about the company that he was working at.
Uh-huh.
It was showing that it was getting bad out. But the fucking manager said, you can't leave yet. You have to stay
Right.
here.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently a couple people from that company died by trucks rolling over from the floodwaters. And these people are fucking heartbroken, rightfully so, because their work family just got killed because of a manager's negligence. I hope the people that, if they have an opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to take that manager, his job, and put that son of a bitch in jail, press charges against him, something.
Mm-hmm.
Because that right there, gross negligence, and also, to me, that's like, second degree murder right there.
Well, yeah, it's definitely some sort of. I don't understand how an employer, and I don't know what that business was. I know they were working some sort of shipping, or it was like a manufacturing job of some sort. I do not understand how anybody in good conscience could say, "Hey, you need to stay at work because if you don't, we're going to be behind on product or whatever."
Yeah, fuck
You know,
that product. I'm going to go save my own ass.
yeah, kiss my ass. If it was like, if I was working at, and I'm not judging anybody that does, but if I was working at Walmart and they say you need to be here, I'm going to laugh because that shit can wait. You know what I mean? Now,
Right.
my current job, it's hurricane teams. So people sign up. We have an A team and a B team. A team is there for the entirety of the hurricane, no matter how long that is. And B team comes in after the hurricane is clear so people can go. But I mean, so it's a little different, but because, people need surgery sometimes during the middle of a hurricane.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yes. But for that guy needs to get drop kicked in the shins by somebody.
I'm qualified for that. I can reach those.
You are short. And now you're old.
An old short fucker.
That's right.
All right.
All right. Well, where can they find us?
Well, they can find us on Facebook, X, Rumble, Spotify, Truth Social. I believe that's it.
And as always, at your mama's house. No, I'm kidding. Anyways,
Follow the questions.
find the truth.